first got into TikTok Shop, when I tell y'all that it wasn't that much information that you could fucking find about TikTok Shop affiliate, it really wasn't that much on TikTok or YouTube. And I started at the end of 2024. There was hardly any information. There was maybe like 5 or 6 YouTube videos with basically the same damn information that you could have got out TikTok. Only in the last year or so did all this information on TikTok Shop affiliate come out. And I was trying to figure out, like, what's the disconnect between affiliates? Then I finally figured it out. Look at affiliates as the same as you would look at top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. If you're doing sales, you know what that means. So let's say you got top of funnel affiliates, which is people making 5 or 6 figures. Middle of funnel is people making a couple $100 to a couple $1,000, and bottom of funnel is just newbies or people who've been making a couple dollars, right? When you first get into TikTok Shop affiliate and you learning about it, what's the first goddamn thing you gonna do? You gonna search up on TikTok tips and tricks, right? And when I tell you get stuck on those tips and tricks for months and months on end, especially if you like serious about this shit, you really trying to figure it out for real. Tips and tricks is where you gonna spend a couple months at. And I think it was Dustin that helped me put this thought together, because he was talking about how you can train your algorithm to feed you what you wanted to feed you, right? And I was thinking about that shit. I was like, because as an affiliate, especially a newer affiliate, everything that you see on the TL, or you start to train your algorithm without knowing it, you watching stuff on top affiliates and you watching stuff on new affiliates. Because on your goddamn journey, mindset is very fucking big. No matter where you fall, top, middle, bottom, mindset is always going to be prevalent. You're going to be working on that forever until you leave this earth. But with mindset, you pretty much following and listening to newer affiliates because you need a reason to keep going. You need to see that it's working for somebody else. You could see that it's working for you. For whatever reason, you still need that validation. Okay, other people are still doing this, cool. So your goddamn timeline is just filled with new affiliates who probably still trying to get to 1,000 or trying to get to 5,000. And then you got top affiliates who giving off their tips and tricks, right? So you just get stuck in this fucking echo chamber of fucking top and bottom affiliates. And depending on what the top affiliates got going on, like if they beefing or got shit going on over there on that side, you gonna see that shit. Which me, my algo, I hardly ever see when affiliates is at each other's throats. I don't hear about it until somebody else says, why is all these affiliates tripping on each other? I don't know that something is going on until then. Or because like a couple affiliates that I fuck with, they name usually get bought up in the mix, and if I see somebody talking about them, then I'll be like, oh damn, there's some shit going on in the affiliate world. Other than that, I don't know about it, and really don't fucking care about it either. I don't give one singular fuck. Bro, I'm doing this TikTok Shop shit so I can get the bag. I don't give a fuck what everybody else got going on. I really fucking don't. And then it fucking hit me. Who don't you hear from that much when it comes to tips and tricks and all of this shit? That fucking middle of funnel, which I feel like that's where I am right now. $100 to $1,000 earners, they in that sweet middle spot. I feel like that's where I am right now. The thing about being in that middle spot is you finding stuff that's finally working. Like you figuring it out, right? And I feel like when you in that stage of figuring it out, you just kind of want to put your head down until you actually know that you done figured it out, and then you'll come back and throw the people a rope once you figure it out. I feel like that's why there's this disconnect. We need more of middle of funnel affiliates talking they goddamn shit. We need that. Because even on my goddamn journey, I realized that shit and I started searching for it. I was like, hey, bro, I need to watch some affiliates who done only made a couple $100 who still on their goddamn journey. I don't just want to see people who at the beginning of their journey or people who done already figured this shit out. I need people in that sweet middle spot. And I feel like that's what the disconnect is. We don't have enough people in that sweet middle spot, you know? It's either the top or the bottom. And I get it, because the last thing you want to do is lead anybody astray, lead them in the wrong goddamn direction. So you want to make sure that you got it figured out before you try to put somebody else on. But the thing about that is, people at the fucking top, once they fucking figure it out, you seem to think that your way is the only fucking way, and it's not. At the end of the day, when it comes to this making money online shit, you gotta find what works for you. There's no fucking way around it. You have to find what works for you. Even if somebody else play does work for you, you still have to fucking figure it out. It's not the end all be all type shit, you know? You still have to figure out what works for your account and what doesn't work for your account. There's no way around it. It don't matter how much money you fucking spend learning this, that, or fucking third. You still gonna have to figure out what works for your goddamn account. That's it and that's all.